Alright, guys, welcome to the new podcast episode. This is Corey's Crib.
And this BDG reviews.
Yeah, so not a whole lot of news happening this week, so we figured kind of just do little short reviews for like a what we watched, and then
Yeah,
kind of end it with Ghosts of Mars because we both checked out that Mill Creek Blu-ray.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what little news I have, I wanted to remind everyone that if you're interested in that Scream Resurrection, set your DVRs because the first episode aired last night, second episode airs tonight, and then the last episode airs tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the whole thing to record, but I'm definitely stoked for that.
Yeah. Um, I'm just hoping it's decent.
Yeah, did you ever
You know,
find out
not
if
even
it's airing
I,
in Canada?
I I haven't seen it anywhere, but I'm sure I can probably find it like streaming or something, you know.
Yeah, I'm praying they release that on disc.
They might. I
The
don't
thing is,
know.
though, it's like VH1. I don't think I've ever seen VH1 release a movie or anything or a disc. I don't think I've ever seen their logo on a physical release.
No, I don't think so.
Hopefully, like Lionsgate or maybe something. I
That
don't
that could
know
be cool. You know,
because it's like a three. It's not really a show. It's more like a three-night event. And
yeah,
Lionsgate owns, or no, not Lionsgate. Dimension, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Dimension.
and Miramax, I think is whatever. But yeah, they own that. So hopefully they release like a Blu-ray of it.
I hope so. I mean, you know, I'm always a big proponent of you know, like physical media,
Oh yeah. Well,
you know,
obviously we're
so
big collectors, so.
yeah,
And that's one
you
thing that
know,
pisses me off about that Scream show is they only have those shitty DVDs of it.
yeah, it's really annoying. Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If something is available in HD, if it was filmed in HD, put a Blu-ray out.
Yeah, or at least
It's
a burn on
already
demand or
there.
something.
Yeah,
Like they
it's
did a burn
already
on.
at that quality.
Yeah, I
Damn
don't
it.
understand why Amazon doesn't do a burn on demand. I mean, they did that for what, Summer of '84 and some
Yeah,
other releases.
yeah. Hopefully, someone does.
Yeah. So
Yep.
yeah, that's the first little bit of news I have. And the second I just tagged you in this on Facebook. Did you see it yet?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that blew my... I didn't think that was going to get a Blu-ray release. I
No,
just for the length of it and the fact that
yeah.
it's like, usually you don't see those miniseries get it, so I was
We
shocked to
should
see
we
it.
should probably actually tell people what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The Stand, Stephen King's miniseries from the 90s, directed by Mick Garris, finally getting a Blu-ray release.
That's damn cool.
Yeah, I'm hyped for it. I'm not a big fan of the cover. I wish they would have used the original cover. You know that... You remember
Yeah,
that DVD, the first DVD, where it had that
yeah,
cover and then they went and did the generic route?
yeah,
Like, I guess it's better than the generic cover we got for the re-release, but I wish they would have had
yeah.
the original.
From what I know, I think they did a copy of the novel with a very similar cover. So maybe they're kind of going with that, like trying to match it up almost.
Oh, okay.
It could be. It's all right.
Yeah, it makes up for the fact that I was disappointed that Storm of the Century is only a DVD release.
Yeah, that's
When I could have swore when Kino announced that it had a Blu-ray release.
yeah. All I can think is maybe they couldn't find anything that they could properly, like upsize to Blu-ray or anything. I don't know.
Yeah, because those
Uh,
would be my two most wanted Stephen
yeah.
King miniseries on Blu-ray is Storm of the Century and Rose Red.
Oh, I
Like
love
those are
Rose
my
Red.
two most underrated Stephen King series.
Yeah, for sure.
I also want Desperation because I know a lot of people shit on that, but I actually really enjoyed Desperation.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I don't
You
know, it
know.
just clicked for me.
Yeah.
But
I'm
did you
still
ever see
waiting
that
for the
Diary
Night
of?
Flyer.
Oh yeah, there's that DVD wasn't that out of print for a long time?
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
think
it
you can get it
was.
reasonable now.
I think you can.
I think there's even a foreign disc that's cheap.
I think so. You know, it's damn cool. You know.
Yeah.
Um, it needs more love than it gets. I mean, you say The Night Flyer, and a lot of people are like, what's that?
Yeah, no, it's an underrated movie. I liked it also because the main guy, uh, I forget his name, but he was in Twin Peaks and he just
Yeah,
died like
yeah,
two or
I
three
know
years
the guy
ago.
you mean.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name, but
it was something
Mitch
Spanish, like a
Mitch
Spanish listening.
Palagecki or something like that. Where I don't know, something like that.
No, Mitch Pileggi.
That's it.
That's not him though. That's the dude
No,
from Shocker.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I can't remember his name.
It's a Spanish name, but
Yeah,
anyways, yeah. But I'm trying to think as far as like other news go. I can't really think of anything. Like I guess
yeah,
Scream Factory announced an Omen box set that's pretty badass.
yeah. That looks like it's gonna be pretty good,
Yeah,
honestly. I have the old box set, and I
the
got it for
Blu-ray
like
one.
I got it for like $10.
That packaging is so shitty though.
I took it out of it the second I got it.
Yeah.
Um,
Did that set come with the remake or just
yeah,
one, two, and three?
1, 2, and 3, and the remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a good deal, for like $10 or however much
Oh
I
yeah, I
paid.
have it too. I paid like 14, I think.
Yeah, it's your basic like value pack, if you will.
Yeah.
You
See,
know,
to me that always felt incomplete though because it didn't have part 4. And I know part 4
yeah,
isn't good and people hate it, but I still want it, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. It's the sort of thing. The completest in you wants it. Even though it's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, an Omen made for TV movie wasn't the brightest idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
But other than that, what I know they released some other stuff, but I don't think anything really got me hyped. Do you know of anything?
Uh, Not really. Um,
Let me see if I could pull something
the,
up. So I had
the
a
the only
list. I need to
news
have a list.
I was able to find was apparently they're re-releasing the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books. Um, they're like movie editions, they're calling them, but apparently they have the original art in them. So
Didn't they already do that though? Like I could have swore I went on Amazon and they had the
yeah,
original art versions.
yeah. Apparently this is like
The covers were different, but
yeah, these are like one's like the movie poster cover, one's like the girl with the spider thing on her face, and the other one's like just that red corridor and that creepy looking woman thing.
yeah. Did you pre-order that?
Not
Um,
yet. I'm definitely gonna pick it up though, because that documentary looks really interesting.
yeah. I think it's Laura had some interviewed in it.
That's cool. I mean, the fact of the matter is, who wrote these books? Do you know?
The
Scary
scary stories
stories
to
to
tell in
tell.
the dark.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Uh,
Yeah, it was his name was on it. I don't think it was Shel Silverstein. It was
Alvin
something.
Schwartz.
Alvin Schwartz. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever heard of anything else he's ever done?
No, I think that's all he's done.
I know, and they're
He
cultural like
basically,
touchstones, you know?
yeah, he basically just wrote these urban legends down and made them for kids,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah, yeah. I think I'll definitely be picking up these 3 volumes. I mean, I got rid of mine years and years and years ago. I don't know why. I regretted it ever since.
Yeah,
But the fact that they have the original art in it again, I'm down for that.
yeah,
Yeah, and the new uh, the new art that they made a few years back or whatever was like, no. I saw some of that and I was just like, no, not interested
yeah.
in that. Yeah. Otherwise, news. Okay, well, there's not exactly a reason for that. Apparently, on Bloody Disgusting, they're showing something. People have used that deep fake thing to replace
For The
Jack
Shining,
Nicholson. Yeah, with
I
Jim
watched it.
Carrey.
It's badass.
Is it?
Yeah, well, it's on YouTube. I watched it.
I don't know what to make of that. I really don't.
Yeah, it looks pretty convincing.
Yeah. I'll have to give it a look, maybe. What else here? Oh, apparently, the Raid star Joe Taslim will play Sub-Zero in the new Mortal Kombat movie.
The Raid, like the martial arts movie?
Yeah,
Huh. That could be cool.
it could. I
He'd be
mean,
perfect for that. You still never even seen the Raid. Like,
I saw the
you're...
Raid 1. I haven't watched Part 2 yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Raid 2 is a lot better, but the Raid 1 is badass.
Oh yeah, the Raid 1 just that was crazy.
Yeah, the Raid 2 is a lot, there's a lot more story. Like, it feels like a martial arts version of, like, Goodfellas.
That's cool.
But the jail scenes, like, there's these fight scenes in prison that are just jaw-dropping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
definitely gonna have to pop that in and look at it because I
Yeah,
got the
there's some of
Blu-ray.
the best fights I've ever seen in that movie. Like, there's
That's
this
cool.
scene where it's, like, muddy. It's raining. It's, like, on this jail yard.
Hmm.
And, dude, they kick so much ass, and the guards come in, and they're all getting stabbed. It's badass.
That's cool. Let's see here. Any other news? Um,
I also want to plug, too, for the people listening, that Thursday at 9:30, I'm seeing that new... Uh, what the hell's his name? Alexandria Aja or something? Or,
Alexandra Aja, yeah.
yeah, his new movie, Crawl. And that's my most anticipated movie besides it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
more anticipated for Crawl than I am for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Only for two reasons. One, I live in Florida, and
Mm.
it's hurricane season right now, so it like fits perfect for me because takes place in Florida on hurricane season.
Yeah,
And I love it. There hasn't been an Alexandra Aja movie that I haven't liked.
true.
And yeah, and I'm just stoked to see another Killer Gator film.
Oh hell yeah. I mean it.
It's been
I
over
just I
20
just
years.
I just dig the old, like I don't really want to say creature features, but like nature gone wild type things.
Yeah, when they
Where
do
you
it,
get like
it's only
killer
sharks.
animals. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, sharks are scary, but they can't
Not
come
to
on
me
land.
because I don't really go in the ocean.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
the big ocean person. I
Yeah,
mean, we have the beach, but I don't go to it ever. Even
yeah.
though I have Siesta Key Beach, which is like, I think it was voted the #1 beach in America. But yeah, I never go to it. But gators, one time I was walking home from this girl's house, and she lived pretty far, so I had this long walk.
Mm,
I was probably like 18 or something.
yeah.
And I was just walking down the sidewalk near the mall,
Mm.
and there was a gator right on the sidewalk. And I remember I had to like haul ass past it and everything. But yeah, that's the thing with like Florida. You see gators like all the time. Like they'll just be crossing the road. Like in our apartment here, there's a sign that says "Watch out for the gator."
That's that's kind of badass.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they always say like in like Australia how everything will kill you,
See,
but
that's more freaky to
last
me
time
because
I
they got
checked,
the
they don't have gators, they have crocodiles, but
yeah, yeah. But I'm hyped for it, man. We're actually gonna do a commentary on Lake Placid. I think Wednesday night,
yeah, that'll be sweet.
tomorrow night.
I love
Um,
that movie.
Were you able to check if you had if it was showing near you this weekend?
Not yet. It'll probably be coming out tomorrow to say whether it's I'm sure it will be showing. As to whether it'll
Yeah.
be on Thursday or Friday, I don't know.
Do you definitely plan on seeing it this weekend?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, cool. All
Yeah.
right, man. Yeah, it should be good, dude. I mean, that just seems like the perfect combo for me. Alexandra Aja making a killer gator movie.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like from the trailers I've seen and stuff, the effects look pretty decent.
Yeah, seeing that gator swim in that water.
Yeah. I
See, like,
mean,
I don't know if you have hurricanes up near you or have ever
no.
experienced one. Like, the streets do get flooded. Like,
Yeah.
trees go down and, like, you'll see complete lawns ripped off. Like, if you drive around after a hurricane, like, if someone's tree will go down in their yard, it
Yeah.
literally rips up all the lawn. So you could, like, almost go under the whole lawn. Like, it rips all the sod up and everything.
Yeah.
So like it's one of those things where it'll be extra freaky to me just because you could literally drive a boat on the streets here after a hurricane.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and then we wonder why there's like Florida Man.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
It's
that's
like
crazy.
it's super hot and you can drive boats in the street after after hurricanes. It's like, yeah, I think we kind of get why there's some crazy down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm praying there's not another hurricane. I think I knew you when the last hurricane hit here.
Yeah,
I was without power for like a good week and a half.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like all the lines go down. Like I remember they were saying. I don't remember if you remember hearing this on the news, but
Mm.
it was supposed to be like this Category 5 hurricane, and people
Yeah,
were evacuating Florida.
yeah, I
And I
remember that.
remember, yeah, on the news, like they were saying, like they were basically like preparing for you to die. Like
Yeah,
people were like thinking like roofs were gonna just completely fly off. And I remember laying down that night, just being like, well, this is it, you know?
yeah,
Like it gets intense, dude.
yeah. I mean, and that's the sort of thing you can't. How do you prepare for, like nature turning against you essentially?
Yeah, it's
You can't. It's just sort of like you weather it and keep going.
yeah. The thing is though, global warming is real. There ain't shit no one can do about it, but it is real.
Yeah,
And it's just gonna get worse and worse. But there's nothing no one can do about it. I mean, that's just the way it is.
yeah,
But back to movie horror. I mean,
yeah,
enough for real life horror.
yeah.
But
I got a few little bits of news here. One is apparently the writer of Jason Lives has wrote a new Friday the 13th script that he's hoping to pitch once everything gets sorted out.
if it ever does,
I think it will, simply because what's his name? Not Sean Cunningham, the other guy.
yeah, Victor Miller or whatever.
Yeah, he's kind of old.
Yeah,
So honestly, now I'm not like wishing him dead or anything, but how
Y-
long can you really keep fighting these battles?
yeah. You
You
also
know?
hear that that's all affecting NECA now.
Yeah, I don't see
And they've
why
been
it should.
releasing Friday the 13th toys for that's like their bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why it should be affecting NECA because I mean they've never put out a Kid Jason figure,
Yeah,
and from what I know, you know, the courts have essentially ruled that Victor Miller or whatever owns the original, you know, the original thing. So, the quote-unquote guy in the mask doesn't come into it.
yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah,
One more thing I want to bring up too I'm seeing now is if you're into toys or whatever, Scream Factory is releasing a premium action figure for the Howling. And I'm
that
looking at the box now, it looks pretty badass.
yeah, that does look
It
pretty
looks
cool.
pretty big too.
Yeah. Oh, speaking about that, let's talk about what Unearthed are doing. Apparently, they're going to be making some American guinea pig action figures.
Oh yeah, I don't know about the price though.
I think they're $100.
I
But
don't know.
apparently they've got like some special packaging or whatever that you
Yeah, I
can,
saw it on the live
yeah,
stream.
you can open it up and take the figure out and everything, but then you could put it all back and it's
And
still
supposedly there's a
sealed.
play set.
That's hilarious. It's
So
like
are you spending that money for that or what?
I don't know. I really don't know. I want to see like a proof of concept first. I want to see what like it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Because I would hate to spend $100 and just end up with some little, diddly little like Chinese looking knockoff figure.
Well, it is going to be like a collector's piece.
Yeah, I mean if it looks good, I'll definitely consider it because you know, it's unearthed and it's American guinea pig and that's just kind of
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm kind of interested in it, but $100, I don't know.
It's a really steep price. Now if you were
It looks
to
like a little like reaction size figure.
yeah,
Like how do you know how tall it is?
I don't know.
Is it 3.5 or like 7.5?
See, I'm hoping it's like 7.5.
Yeah, because if it's 3.5, forget it. I ain't
Yeah.
paying that for 3.5.
No. Now, I mean, it would be kind of cool, like if like they sent you like maybe some like signed DVDs or something along with it. That would be kind of neat, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but is what it is, right?
Yeah. Also, another thing of news I got, they're releasing the Devil Rides Out on Blu-ray Scream Factory.
Ah, yes.
Christopher Lee, you've seen that, right?
I saw it years ago. Yeah, I
Dude,
honestly don't even remember it. It's
it's
been
probably
that
one of my
long.
favorite of those old school Satan movies. Like it was, think there was this Devil's Reign and like them desert Satan movies.
Yeah,
Enter the Devil, but yeah, Devil Rides Out was definitely my favorite.
that's
And
cool.
the cover they got for this thing is sick looking.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're releasing the Blob, 19. It was
the
88.
yeah the remake. Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, so a lot of people weren't able to get that Twilight Times release. This is a
Yeah,
perfect way to do it. The cover actually looks pretty cool.
yeah. I jumped on the what's it called one, the Umbrella
Umbrella.
release.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with that. So I'll wait until I see the features and then determine if I'm gonna upgrade. But that's a movie that should have been out years ago.
Yeah.
Honestly, now all we need a Blu-ray of Phantoms, like a
Yeah.
good Blu-ray of Phantoms, and then double feature it with the Blob.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
They go together really well. And honestly, like it's like almost impossible to find the Blu-ray of Phantoms now.
Yeah.
And of course, I had like some other movie on it as well. It was like one of them
Yeah.
double feature ones.
Yeah. But stuff I would have put out that's available like right now is Silent Hill just released, which I want to get because
That's a
I think that's a
badass
really
looking cover.
underrated movie.
It's one of the better, based on a video game movies.
Yeah, that and Mortal Kombat I think are the best.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, it could be argued maybe the first Resident Evil, but
Yeah, the thing
I
with
don't know.
Silent Hill
Mm.
is I feel like it's a good movie even if you know nothing about the video games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, so you could watch that and enjoy it and not even know anything about the games.
Oh yeah, and just enjoy it as a movie.
Yeah, Pyramid Head is like a really creepy looking
Oh
figure.
yeah,
And
definitely.
even the second one, like, it'd be cool if the second one gets a collector's edition, because I actually like that one too.
I like it.
Remember
I
that
just find
spider
it.
made out of, like, mannequin parts and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. There was a lot of badass scenes in part two, but what I always thought with it, everything was too bright
Yeah.
in part two. Like it seemed like if maybe they should have color timed it different or something. I don't know, but I just felt it should have been darker. Like everything was clear, and you could see. There was nothing lurking in shadows or anything. Everything was just kind of there in your face.
Yeah,
You
I can see
know,
where you're coming from.
and it was a little irritating.
Yeah. And there's
Yeah.
another release come out that I feel like you'd be interested, This Island Earth, with that
Oh
Metaluna
man, yeah.
monster.
Yeah, I actually went looking for that today. I couldn't find it, unfortunately. Um, I love old, like 50s type sci-fi,
Yeah, it's gonna say that's right up
especially
your alley.
ones, especially ones that are like kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be
I
cool if
think
they
that
included
actually,
like the riff tracks.
I think, I think they do, don't they?
Oh, they do? If that is, that'd be cool.
I think it is. Well, I know, they have access to the Mystery Science Theater stuff, and
Oh
I
yeah,
know
so they
they
should have
covered
it,
it on
yeah.
that. Yeah. So that would be damn cool, just throw it on there.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason I'd want it.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
also the Green Inferno just came out. I'm going back and forth on it. I really love the cover art,
yeah,
but there's no new transfer or anything. And it's just to pay $25 for something I already have on Blu-ray that is the
that's
same
fine as it
transfer.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Um,
doesn't. That just seems like a misstep on my part for them to release that.
yeah. And
Like
are
it
there
has the
any
soundtrack.
oh yeah.
Like it
Are
has the
there any
soundtrack and a new interview with Eli Roth.
Oh, well. You know what? I'll wait until someone like has like a used copy
Yeah, or if I
and
see some
then.
reviews and they're talking about like there's a like really good special features,
Yeah.
I'll jump on it. But that is, I do love that cover art.
It
That's one of
is
those ones I
really
do wish
nice.
I ordered from the site to get a poster.
Yeah. That's one thing I always thought that the new Silent Hill would have looked awesome on poster.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure they released one.
No, they did, but it's just I find it really difficult to justify ordering from Scream Factory.
Yeah. The only,
You
yeah,
know,
I see what you mean.
it's just it's
I've
bad enough
never ordered directly from them.
I haven't either. And the thing is, you hear the horror stories. You hear about like people like getting their posters and they're all bent up and everything, and hopefully like all that's settled now. But
Yeah.
it's like you pay more than you pay in like a store.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You know?
I'll order from them eventually just to see what it's like. Like I'm thinking about that Omen set because there's like some exclusive lithograph that's limited
Yeah,
to 666 copies.
that's damn cool.
Yeah, but other
I
than
just
that,
love the
like,
fact with that it has a box and you're getting slipcovers as well.
oh, each release has a slipcover.
Yeah. So so it's got both. I just find that so badass. You
Yeah,
know, many places would just be like, okay, well, you're getting a box, so you just get the movies in the box.
well, yeah,
It's
that's what they
like
did with Rec and
yeah,
all their box sets. They haven't done slipcovers in a box
yeah.
yet.
That's what they said on like the announcement. Apparently, they're coming with slips as well. That's damn cool.
Yeah.
I
Also,
mean,
saw Scream Factory announce one more of them cheesy sci-fi flicks. You like the Reptile?
oh, I love that movie.
Yeah. Then I guess they're releasing a Blu-ray of Lust for a Vampire,
Hmm. Is that a
and that is a good place to plug. We are doing a vampire special
yeah?
next. What were we doing it for? I don't even remember.
Uh, for the release of Vampires.
Vampires. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew there was something.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I need an excuse to watch a lot of these vampire flicks I've been meaning to check out.
yeah,
So yeah, look out for that, and I'll
yeah.
definitely be ordering vampires. I'm pretty hyped for that.
Good movie. That's another movie that's just like people forgot about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not
Oh,
getting the love.
yeah. One more thing I want to say is the Criterion specials going on. So there's some really good Criterions out there. I'm gonna talk about them when we get to the what we watch. But
Yeah,
Funny Games and Blue Velvet, you definitely want to. For people listening, if you're looking for Criterions to pick up,
yeah,
Blue Velvet looked stunning.
that's cool.
And yeah, that's that's pretty much it with that. And I think that's pretty much all I got news wise. Do you have
Yeah,
anything
I
before we go to what we
just have
watch?
one last thing. Apparently, this new adaptation of The Stand that they're doing, the 10 episode series or whatever, apparently
A
it's
new
gonna
adaptation or the Blu-ray?
new adaptation. Uh,
So what does that mean? They're doing another?
yeah, they're doing like another like I don't even know whether you could call it a mini series at 10 episodes. They're doing it like as a series. And apparently it's cast Marilyn Manson in a role.
Yeah, I was gonna check it out anyways, but now I definitely will.
Yeah,
Marilyn Manson's one of my favorite musicians of all time,
yeah.
and he was in Lost Highway, I think, right? I haven't seen Lost Highway in a long time.
He might have been, yeah.
I think he has a cameo in that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I also want to acknowledge this release too. I know nothing about it, but it looks
Yeah.
intriguing. The Wind Demons of the Prairie.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing some stuff about that. Like
Yeah,
nothing.
it's called The Wind on a lot of these.
Yeah, it seems like it could be quite good.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I'm hoping it bums me out though because I want Prairie Tales or Grim Prairie Tales. You know
Yeah,
the Brad Dourif movie?
yeah.
Like why they haven't released that yet, I will never know.
I don't know. That's something I've always thought. There's not enough of like horror mixed with like like Western type stuff and like that
Yeah.
time period and everything.
Or not even cowboys, just like a settle,
Yeah,
like a horror in the settler time or whatever you call
yeah.
that.
I mean, it's the perfect time.
Yeah, and I always love horror movies set in like the 1800s too, like the Victorian times and
Oh yeah.
stuff.
Well, it gets rid of all the necessity for modern conveniences and everything.
Yeah, and I
You
just realized
know?
the older I get, I like time pieces a lot more.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but you know, I guess they're more timeless, aren't they?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, you
and there's
watch
just something
something
about them that holds my attention more.
like what I always find is like when you watch the first Scream movie, it feels really dated.
Well, yeah, the phones and all that, and even the
Yeah,
clothing.
like you see the tech and everything, and you're just kind of like, oh man, I remember back when,
Yeah, it's like
when
Clueless. Like, you
flip
know the
phones
movie.
were a thing.
Yeah, I know this ain't horror, but you know the movie Clueless.
Yeah,
Like, it's one of those things. Like, that's a total time capsule of the '90s. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, it's cool that they exist, but that's one thing you never have to worry about with like a period piece
Yeah,
because it's always what it is,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I watched this Criterion called The Age of Innocence.
Hmm.
It's like a timepiece in the 1800s, and it was by Martin Scorsese, and it had Daniel Day-Lewis and Winona Ryder and Michelle Pfeiffer. It was a really solid flick. I mean, people listening probably don't care because it ain't horror, but it was a good movie. So anybody listening that just likes good films in general,
Yeah,
you know, you don't usually put good films and horror in the same conversation, but
yeah.
like if you want to like a change of pace of something that's just really good, like good filmmaking, good acting,
Hmm.
it's definitely worth your time. And I
That's
may be biased because Winona Ryder is just beautiful.
yeah,
And anything with Daniel Day-Lewis, he's a badass dude.
yeah. I mean, from
I
what I've
wish he'd
heard,
do a horror movie. I don't think he ever has.
I don't think so.
I think he's a little like I don't want to say snobby, but I don't know the right word, but I think he'd be above horror. You know what I
Well,
mean?
he's very much well, he's a method actor, isn't
Like a
he?
thespian actor and all
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah. He's like a method actor, isn't he?
oh yeah, he lives the role. He's like in it as like a an art form and stuff like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so
He's not gonna waste his time doing a slasher or something.
well, I mean, like someone who goes like all method, you probably wouldn't want them to do a horror
Yeah.
because someone might end up dead.
Yeah, like if I was making a Batman movie or something and I needed someone for a villain,
Oh
like
yeah.
I would cast him in some as something, you know what I mean? I would find a Batman villain
Oh
that
hell
fit
yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis and you know what I mean?
Yeah, he
Even
could
if
do
it was
that
like a
definitely.
villain that nobody knew of, like a one-off issue villain or something from the comics, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, he could do that really well. Well, then again, he could do anything really well, let's be honest.
Yeah. So you want to get into the what we watch segment?
Yeah, sure. You want to go first?
Yeah, I just watched a couple movies last night actually. The one, A Ghost to Mars, which we'll get into, but I ended up watching The Life and Death of a Porno Gang,
How was
put
it?
out by Synapse. Not good.
No?
Nah, it ain't worth your time. It's what it happened was Serbian film did so good at whatever festival it was,
Hmm.
like the Cannes festival. I don't remember what festival it was, but Serbian film was like all the rage,
Yeah.
and they wanted to recapture that. So then the very next year they released this film, kind of being like, hey, here's a new extreme movie from Serbia.
Yeah.
And it even obviously takes place in the porn industry and stuff. It's just not, the dialogue is terrible. It's, there's no need for a Blu-ray. The picture quality looks shitty. It's like handheld camera. And, yeah, it's just this dude. He wants to be a director and no one cares about anything he's doing. So he ends up running into this porno director, and he's kind of going under the wing shooting these pornos, and then he runs into this guy that's like, I want you to make snuff films. So he like takes this van on the road, and he's kind of has like this traveling porno troupe or whatever. They basically like fuck each other in front of audiences in these small towns.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, but it's just stupid, dude. Like it's honestly boring. Nothing is really shocking. There is some shocking sexual stuff,
Yeah.
but to even say anything close to this is as disturbing as Serbian film is is really shitty because it's not even close. Like the quote on the back of this is more powerful than a Serbian film. This violent, gory, and thought-provoking film is one of the most controversial video releases of the year, and it's not even close. What's weird is people love it, like Moods. He watched it and he liked it and all that, so it's maybe one of those cases like people love Red Room and I hate it.
Yeah.
This is, I think, one of those cases. Like people may love this, but it wasn't my cup of tea.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, there's many people as there are, like, thoughts in the world, and everyone's got a different opinion.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess, it's just, I'll probably give it a pass.
Yeah, it's honestly, and you can't find the Blu-ray for like under $20.
Yeah.
Like I bought this on I think Grindhouse actually for like 18-20 bucks, and I wouldn't even spend 10 on it. It's not, if you found it for like $5 or $6, get it, but other than that, nah.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to me when I first heard about it that it was like a jumping on the bandwagon
Yeah, it's not
type
even
thing.
close to being as disturbing or shot as good, or it's not even close to Serbian film. Like,
Maybe they should have just let it be its own thing then, and like
definitely,
not
yeah.
even compared it.
Yeah, or just make it like a snuff thing. Like, you don't even have to. I feel like they just put this porno aspect in it just to be like Serbian film.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, there's a reason no one really talks about this movie. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so what you got?
Uh, well, I just watched a movie last night called Dragon Head. It's a
Yeah, you
Japanese
reviewed it for
film.
Body Bags.
Hmm?
Yeah, yeah. If people listen, you can watch a more detailed review on Body Bags.
Yeah. It was interesting. Um, it was a Japanese flick from 2003. And I remember, hell, back in 2003, I used to see the DVD for sale places. And I always thought, like it had a cool looking cover and everything, but it was always kind of expensive, so I never bothered. Then, the other week I found it at a flea market. So I was like, okay, what the hell, like $6, $8 or whatever? I'll give it a shot. It was actually pretty decent. I mean, it's like your basic, like post-apocalyptic type thing.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's based on a Japanese manga and everything. Basically, it's just like some people are coming back from a field trip, and they're on a train, and while it's in a tunnel, something happens. You don't know what this something is, but this guy wakes up and everyone around him's dead. And
Yeah.
he finds two other people like who are alive. One guy who's like batshit crazy, and like this girl. And then him and the girl like escape, and they get out into the world, and everything is ash. There's like
Hmm.
ash everywhere, and like I get the feeling. I don't know if would be true or not, but I get the feeling it's almost like whoever wrote the original story was trying to do like a modern version of like Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
It was like going for that type of like feel because they're going through all this like completely blasted area, and then they run into like survivors and they're not exactly you know, the best people to find during a post-apocalyptic situation. And there's like meteors coming from the sky, and there's like freaking like explosions. It was odd, but it was really kind of fun, honestly.
Yeah, it sounds like something I don't really need to rush out and see.
No, I mean if you happen to find like a used copy or something,
Yeah.
it's worth seeing.
Yeah, maybe eventually, because I have so much Asian stuff to watch. When I'm done with that, I'll probably be looking for more handfuls of Asian stuff, so
Yeah.
I'll keep it on the back burner.
Yeah, it's it the effects are kind of dated, obviously, because it's 2003. But for the most part, like it looks good, it sounds good, and
Yeah.
it's a decent watch. Let's say this: it's 2 hours long, and you don't feel like you've wasted 2 hours after you watch it.
Yeah.
You know, you're like,
Huh.
well, that wasn't time not well spent.
Yeah, I always like movies like that where you look at the time and you're kind of like, 2 hours, 10 minutes or whatever, and you're
Yeah,
like, you're kind of dreading it for how long it
yeah,
is.
and then
And I
it's
love it
over,
when
and you're like,
it's over in a
that was
breeze.
quick. Yeah,
Yeah, that was like with Blue Velvet. I had it. I had only picked it up just to watch in the future or whatever.
yeah,
And I hadn't seen Blue Velvet in years.
yeah,
And I was gonna put it on the shelf and be like, all right, I'll get to it. But I'm like, nah, I bought it. I'm just gonna watch it now.
yeah.
Yeah, and the 2 hours went by like that, dude. And I was like, holy shit, I love that movie.
I mean,
And I even watched it the next day with my grandma.
yeah, that's proof right there. You know, if a movie that's 2 hours long and it breezes by, that's the mark of a good film.
Yeah. I also think we should get like a real brief discussion on Midsummer, because when
Oh
that
yeah,
Blu-ray comes out, we'll do like a special on it, because I wasn't really in the right mind
yeah,
when I saw it. So there's a lot of things I don't remember. I remember certain parts,
yeah,
and I think that had to do with why I didn't care for it that much. Like I liked it,
yeah.
but I loved Hereditary. I feel like I need to see this
Yeah,
one or two more times on Blu-ray.
I
But that
think
was
so.
my
Yeah.
big complaint with that.
Mm,
It was about 20 minutes too long.
it was. Yeah, Midsummer was. Yeah, very
Like it
much
takes
too long.
like nothing really, like the first disturbing moment happened about what, a hour 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah,
Like that's almost a whole movie length's worth of time before something remotely disturbing happens.
I just.
But it's a badass scene.
Oh
Those
yeah,
jumpers,
yeah.
and then the one dude doesn't die and they crush his head with a mallet.
I know. I mean, I can't help but wonder, like, if they hadn't crushed his head with the mallet, like if he'd jumped off and, you know, just died, whether all the, like, the foreigners, if you will, like the Americans and the British people and ever, whether they wouldn't be as freaked out.
Yeah,
I think what freaks them out is the fact that, they went over afterwards and beat his head with a giant wooden mallet.
yeah.
Oh man, I tell you what though, that director has something with heads. I
And naked old
I
people.
naked old people and like heads, like head trauma and
Yeah.
everything. I don't know what it is,
The one
but
girl bashed her head in Hereditary, and she
yeah,
sawed her head off in the end, and all. Yeah,
yeah. So he's got some kind of weird head fetish. I don't know what it is, but
you saw in an interview though his next movie's not going to be horror.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. He said he wants to try other genres.
I get that. You don't want to be, uh, you know, like pigeonholed.
See, I would want to be pigeonholed into that, because it's like
Yeah,
you basically have a way to make money for the rest of your life.
yeah,
You know what I mean? With you'll always get indie projects. You'll always be able to tour conventions and stuff. It's like,
yeah. You're pretty much set. Uh, I think I don't think you could do two movies of that level, like of horror, if you will, and then go away from it and never come back.
yeah.
So
See, I was hoping he would do horror, but a different subgenre. Like maybe do a slasher or do something.
you,
Like the cult stuff's badass. Like I love it, but I feel like he did the two cult things. Maybe do finish a trilogy of it maybe later.
yeah,
But I would want to see him do something else, like a slasher or something,
that would be cool.
or just like, I don't know how many other subgenres there are, but something, maybe a backroads hillbilly
Yeah.
horror. I don't know, something.
Well, hell, give him a Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah, I
He
feel like
could
with
do it.
him
He
though,
could do
he's
it
the
good,
I feel like
depending
with
on the
him though, he's
story.
the kind where he'd want creative control over everything.
Probably.
Like he probably wants to do his own stories and stuff. He just strikes me as that kind of director.
Yeah, and well, let's be honest. Both of the movies he's done so far have been really good.
Yeah, but I thought the same thing about James Wan, and he did a Fast and the Furious movie.
I know, which I have ignored and I will never watch.
Yeah.
You know, it's the sort of thing. I get it. You want to like spread your wings. You want to try other stuff. That's fine. Just don't don't leave who you came to the dance with.
Yeah, has he done another horror movie since then, or no?
Uh,
He did Aquaman.
Yeah, he did Aquaman, which really kicked
He's
ass,
just
honestly.
produced. He hasn't directed, I don't think, any horror.
I don't think so. Yeah, I know. I think he's planning to do more. I seem to remember hearing something about that. That he was like him and what's his name? Oh, he did Paranormal Activity.
Oren Pelly or something,
No,
or
the other one, the guy who runs a like production company.
Jason Blum.
Him, yeah. Apparently, there was talk at one point about them getting together to do something. Um, it could be damn cool if they do.
Yeah, speaking of Blumhouse,
Hmm.
I just want to say this, dude. Did you see that post Danielle Harris made where she's like, "Oh, I hear they're making another Halloween. Let's get a petition together to have me return as Jamie."
Oh
There
yeah,
was something really cringy about that post to me. I don't know what
yeah.
it was, but it just was cringy.
Well, did you see the
I think
meme
it's
that someone
because
did of it?
no,
They had a picture of Danielle Harris on the phone, and they had a picture of what's his name, uh,
David Howard Green or whatever his name is.
the guy who was in Halloween H2O.
Oh, the son.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name, but
yeah, and
Ethan or no. I won't remember
yeah,
that guy's
but you
name.
know who I mean.
Yeah,
And
he's the son. Yeah.
essentially, she's like calling him, and she's saying like, "Hey, have you heard from Mom recently?" And he's like, "No, I don't think she even remembers like we exist."
Yeah. I think what made that whole thing cringy to me
Mm,
is it's not like fans petitioning it. Like she's starting her own petition. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean,
Where usually it's like with the Clive Barker thing, like the fans want it, so we're going to petition it so it happens. It's like
yeah,
there's something bizarre to me about her rallying people up for her own cause. Like, I don't know. There's just something weird to me about it.
yeah. I mean, admit it, I would like to see her in like the new Halloween when it happens. Um,
Am I wrong for not wanting any of them in it? I just want a completely different thing. I want him
I get
stalking a
that.
new family. Like, I'm so sick and tired. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I loved her in the new Halloween.
Yeah,
I'm sick and tired of her being in it. I don't want another Halloween movie with Jamie Lee Curtis in it.
I know what you mean. I mean, because it's the same thing again and again.
Yeah, it's getting into the Sarah Connor like category.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just it be like the original. I want to just see a Michael Myers just stalking random babysitters, killing them.
yeah. I know what you mean. It's well, they could maybe do it. I mean, they'd have to.
I mean, I'm still gonna be excited for it, but
Oh
when I
yeah.
heard Jamie Lee Curtis is in it again, I'm just like, come on.
Honestly, sh her character needs to die.
Yeah, and she's been back and forth on this so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And she said she was never gonna return. She's tired of it. Now she's returning. I'm sick and tired of it. I
yeah,
just want a slasher flick
yeah.
of him killing babysitters. That's all I want. I don't need anything crazy. I don't need, you know what I mean?
I
They
know what you
kind of
mean.
pigeonholed themselves though by doing that whole burning. They got to continue it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I don't
Well,
know.
it's the sort of thing. It was the end. It was an ending that would, like, if they didn't do a sequel, you would be fine with it as an ending.
Yeah.
You know, um, now they have to come up with a reason as to why he's not dead. Um,
See, I'm willing to go as far as I think they should just start new again. Halloween 18 did really well.
yeah,
Okay. My opinion, just get a new director, get a new everything. You don't have to have Michael Myers be 70 years old.
no,
You know what I mean? Just start it all. Who cares? You know what I mean? If you just make an entertaining movie with Michael Myers in it, no one's gonna care. You know what I mean?
that's true. It is.
But
I
think
mean,
someone like my grandmother though, like she's glad Jamie Lee Curtis is in it because she's a big Halloween fan and she's loved the original and all that. So
yeah,
it's one of those things. Like there are people that are really happy she is returning. So
it's the sort of thing. Essentially, what she needs to do, you need to kill off her character. You need to do it
yeah,
in a way that's not how they did it in
stupid like
Resurrection.
Resurrection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was pathetic. It needs to be like a knockdown, drag out, like sort of like fight thing, which ends up with like her dying
see, I don't
and
even
like
want that though. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm just so sick and tired of it.
I know what you mean. It's like
Like, how many times do I got to see that showdown?
Maybe they should have done it in the 2018.
What would,
Maybe she
yeah,
should
what,
have stayed in the basement
yeah,
and
yeah,
essentially kept
exactly.
him there.
Exactly, and maybe make the annoying girl the new Jamie Lee Curtis or what, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah, you know,
I don't know. I don't know.
I still just find
I
it
would
funny with that
appreciate it.
movie though that like the girl's husband dies and you know she never asks what happened to him or anything.
Yeah.
He's just like you know he's dead and it's like oh well.
You know what I want more than anything, though? Even more than Halloween? I want a new Friday the 13th.
Oh hell yeah.
Like, I would rather have that, to be honest.
Friday the 13th is one of those series that needs to get redone and you know
And, like, that idea they had of it being snowing
oh that would be
in Camp
awesome.
Crystal Lake, dude, like, that seems so perfect. I have the book in front of me now, that complete history, that Crystal Lake
Yeah,
Memories. And it's kind of silverish on the front, and it
yeah.
almost looks like there's snow. Like, that would be such a good movie, dude.
Oh yeah, and I mean and you can always find a reason for people to go to Crystal Lake.
Yeah, think about it. People ice skating on Camp Crystal Lake, Jason coming out, just...
Yeah.
There's so many more weapons you could have with it being snowing, and I don't
Oh
know,
hell,
man.
you
Like,
could do stuff like you know like throwing people and them getting like impaled on big chunks of ice and stuff.
yeah, or like those ski things or whatever you call them,
Oh
those things
yeah,
you go skiing on. There's just multiple stuff, but another thing is they had that idea of even being found footage.
yeah,
That wouldn't go over good with fans. I already know that.
yeah,
But me personally, I'd be game for it just because I love found footage.
yeah.
But I know it wouldn't go good with the horror community.
The thing is like it could work if done right, but you'd need to really lock down like a reason for people to have cameras,
Yeah.
you know, and I mean that's kind of the problem with a lot of found footage movies. It's like this, you know, people running around with cameras, but like, well, why do you have this camera?
Yeah.
You know?
See, I would even love an idea like, oh, we're gonna have this big party bash at Camp Crystal Lake. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
DJs to be this big bash. Like a fest or whatever.
yeah.
Even something stupid like that, but then just have Jason come out and just slaughter all these club goers.
I just thought of something kind of badass.
Huh.
They're like they have like a party going on. They have the music blaring or whatever, and they have big screens.
Yeah, because how, like, EDM and like
Yeah,
those drug fests are like all the rage now.
yeah, like something like that. And they'd have like these big screens up next to like the DJ or whatever, and cameras like filming like the audience or whatever, and they'd be switching around, and then all of a sudden you just see someone get taken out on one of these
Yeah.
screens, and then it would switch off right away, and you know some people would be like, hey, like what just happened there, and other people would be like, oh, it's like a gimmick or something.
Yeah. See, that would be the perfect idea for it gets the young people in, you get the old people because of Jason, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It would be like because that's what the movies essentially were like party movies.
Oh yeah.
Teenagers got high, and went and saw Friday the 13th, saw some people mutilated. Like back then it wasn't regarded as a classic, it was just,
Yeah.
you know. So it would be perfect, but hey,
Yeah.
it'll never happen. It would be a cool way for everything to go meta too. And everything has to be meta.
Yeah.
They could do it but
All we can hope is that this legal thing gets sorted out, and as a result, you know, maybe someone can pick up the rights relatively cheap
yeah.
and then make something like that.
Yeah.
I
Until then, though, you do have that fan film that's really solid. That Never Hike Alone.
there's that, and there's something like 3 or 4 other ones now.
Yeah, did you see that Never Hike Alone or no?
I haven't watched it yet. I have like a digital copy of it somewhere, like
Yeah,
on
it's super solid.
yeah.
It's essentially like a found footage Jason movie.
That's cool. Then you got the
Yeah,
one.
we'll have to do a special on that. I think that's worthy of us doing a special.
Yeah.
Because it is free on YouTube, so anybody can watch that.
Yeah. Then of course there's that one they're doing now that has C.J. Graham in it. The guy,
Oh,
the
yeah?
guy who played Jason in Part 6.
Yeah.
He's playing. I think he's playing Jason again, or maybe his father or something. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, fan films are cool, man. There's some good Halloween ones out there. There's a Spawn one
yeah.
that I saw that
Oh,
was pretty
was that
cool.
the one with in
It was
the?
like a grocery
Oh, I
store or something.
love that. That is how you do Spawn.
Yeah, that was cool. And I think one of the best fan films I ever seen was like this trailer they did for Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah,
And it was supposed to be like this real dark, gritty Mortal Kombat, and they showed Reptile and
that's
all
cool.
their Baraka. Did you ever see that? And it had
I've
Michael Jai White in the trailer, and
yeah,
this was before that whole web series and all that. It was way before that.
yeah. It wasn't it like the what?
And Baraka was some like Jamaican doctor, plastic surgeon, and
Yeah,
yeah, that movie was, or that would have been such a badass movie.
yeah, for sure.
Speaking of that, isn't there there is a Mortal Kombat movie in production right now?
Apparently, yeah,
I hope it happens. Like,
yeah.
there's something about Mortal Kombat that's a huge guilty pleasure for me.
Oh yeah. Well, what I think they need to do, just you know, embrace the fact that Mortal Kombat is about blood and guts and you know
They need to make it dark and
horrible.
gritty. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, there needs to be a hard R. There needs to be a lot of blood. There
Oh
needs to
yeah.
be a lot of like freaky moments.
Well, what they
You know
need
what I
to
mean?
do, they need like a character like Kano. They need to make him like a genuine like psychopath.
Yeah, they need him like straight up like rape Sonya Blade.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, I mean, hey, it's a valid thing. Make him like because the thing
Just
is,
vile.
yeah, because when he was in the original like movie or whatever, he was kind of like almost like a comedy relief almost.
Yeah. I think they need to straight up make it a horror film
Yeah,
with the fights in it. You know what I mean? They need all the locations creepy as hell.
yeah,
Like in Mortal Kombat 3, remember that forest level where the trees would like grab you
yeah.
and all that? Like, I don't know if you were a big fan of the
Oh yeah,
games, but
yeah.
yeah, the trees would have these faces on them and they'd like moan and they'd grab you and all
Oh
this
yeah. I
stuff.
mean, there's so
Like, they need
much
to
they
have
can
stuff
do.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they need to essentially,
They need to show like Goro, like just straight, like grabbing someone by all their
and
limbs and
just
just like
tearing them
ripping
off.
them
Yeah,
apart. Yeah,
yeah, for sure. I mean, that is the sort of we are the fans that are gonna go see this.
yeah,
We are the ones like yeah, it's all cool. You get like Sub-Zero there freezing people and everything, but if he doesn't like rip off someone's head and like the spine come out as well, it kind of defeats the object.
yeah. And they need to realize those aren't the only two villains
Yeah,
in Mortal Kombat. Like, that's the problem. The first movie, which I do love, they focus way too much on them. The second movie, they focused on all the villains, but
yeah.
don't give any of them enough screen time to where you care about any of them.
I know. Like you see, what's it?
Like, I have a guilty pleasure for part two, though, but
Yeah,
it's such a terrible movie.
it is. It's horrible. I mean, you see, what's
Like,
his
they ought to
name?
be ashamed of themselves releasing that in theaters.
Yeah, hell, I saw that in theaters.
Damn. Did you notice how shitty them green screen effects
Oh
were? Or
yeah,
back then, did you not
I
notice it?
noticed it back then. What I always remember about that was the guy that played Liu Kang.
Yeah.
Apparently, he didn't want to do part two,
What, was he under contract or something?
something like that. Yeah, he wanted to do something else, but like it's like he didn't want to play like the stereotypical Chinese martial artist or whatever.
Yeah, I never saw him in anything else besides Mortal Kombat.
No, I mean, yeah, that's it. He's essentially like the film equivalent of a one-hit wonder. So,
Yeah.
so what you got to do in that situation is you have to revel in the fact, you have to be the best damn Chinese martial artist guy that you can.
Doesn't he look like a buffer Jackie Chan?
He does.
Like, he always reminded me of a tall, buff Jackie Chan.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of worked as Liu Kang.
Yeah, I think the casting of that first Mortal Kombat movie,
Yeah.
like, I think that dude who played Kano, I think it was perfect for Kano.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
And even Sonya Blade, like,
I just like
I don't remember her name from Billy Madison, but
Yeah.
yeah, she was good for that role.
I just dug
Johnny
the guy
Cage
that
was but
did Shang Tsung.
I thought he was perfect for it.
Yeah, I just love the fact that in the new Mortal Kombat they brought him back in the
Yeah.
game. I just thought that was so damn cool.
Yeah, that is badass. I love that line too, where it's like, "Your brother's soul is mine."
Yeah. I remember seeing him in, he did Kickboxer 2.
Yeah, he's actually been in a lot. I've seen him in a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean he's actually a pretty good actor. I mean,
Yeah,
he hams
one
it
thing
up
I
when he needs to, but
you want to talk about hamming it up? What about Brian Thompson as
oh, Shao
what the
Kahn.
hell's that? Shao Kahn in part two?
That was horrible.
Yeah, there's something about the performance though I like.
Yeah, I mean, the thing what I found was, at the end of the first Mortal Kombat, they introduced
Shao Kahn
Shao
actually
Kahn.
looks intense.
Yeah, he looks like a creature. He doesn't look like a guy, you know, like a bald guy,
Yeah.
which he is in part
See, I
two.
think I have a soft spot for Brian
Yeah,
Thompson.
he's just kind of cool, whatever you put him
Yeah,
in.
and
But
Cobra,
yeah,
as their villain in Cobra is legendary.
yeah,
And I remember in the X-Files and stuff, and he reminds me of an American Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I can see that. I can definitely see
Yeah,
that.
he has like a face like him.
And he was in what's it called? Wasn't he? He was in Fright Night 2 as well, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He was that bug-eating vampire.
yeah. So one more movie I wanted to talk about before we get to Ghosts of Mars
Mhm.
is I checked out that Clown at Midnight too
Yeah,
last night. That was actually a solid film.
I
I
know.
actually really dug it. I mean, the twist I could see coming a mile
Oh,
away. I mean,
definitely. Yeah.
I called the twist before I even watched it. I looked at the cast
Yeah, and you're like,
and I saw that name. I'm like, he's the killer.
yeah. I mean, it's the sort of thing. It doesn't do anything special, but it's just
Yeah,
a solid little
I really
thing,
dig the look of the clown though.
Yeah, that like it's supposed to be like
Pagliacci clown or whatever.
Pagliacci or something. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing though that I found kinda bummed me out about it
Mhm.
is the fact that like the one kid that looks almost like Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah.
He how he dresses up as the clown and is like messing around, freaking people out. He's supposed to be like a red herring.
Yeah.
We're supposed to believe that he's able to get that makeup exact and look just like it, and it's like a rubber thing he made and all that, and the outfit's the exact same, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like
Like what is this
I
guy
don't
like
know.
supposed to be like the Marcus Cook of the movie or
Stan
something?
Winston or
Yeah.
something, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just it was cool seeing Margot Kidder in it. I mean, she's always cool to see,
Yeah.
even though she was only in it for a little bit.
Yeah.
It is kind of a run-of-the-mill slasher, but I think the only thing going for it is the fact that it has a cool-looking clown doing it.
Yeah. Well, and it has
But
that.
other than that, it's
It's
generic.
got that chick in it also from Fresh Prince of
Fresh
Bel-Air.
Prince. But I mean, who's really buying it for her though? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's pretty fun though. I mean, it's
Oh, I had a
nothing
good time with it. It
special.
was a cool setting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing special, but it's just a good little time. And Christopher
I
Plummer.
think it's from your neck of the woods too.
Yeah, yeah, it's a Canadian film, so you know.
I ordered. I know you copied it for me, but I wanted a legit copy,
Hmm.
and I have it coming on eBay. I found one for like $5.
Oh, for that,
So
hells yeah.
It's a PAL
Oh yeah.
Region 2
Is it widescreen or full screen? Do you know?
full screen,
Yeah.
4 by
I mean,
3.
I never know like if that's supposed to be full screen or widescreen or what. I don't know.
Yeah, that is bizarre to me. That doesn't have an American release. Like, it's not that old of a movie.
No.
It's from 1999.
I think it did have one for a while, but I think it's long out of print.
Yeah, that's weird to me. This doesn't
Yeah.
have it. I mean, it has some known names in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Christopher Plummer alone.
Yeah. It's a fun movie though. You see what I say about it though, eh? That it's like essentially it's popcorn in like a
Oh,
theatrical
yeah.
thing instead of a movie theater.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed too is there's not really like a memorable score or anything. Like when the clown shows up,
No,
he just kind of like shows up. There's not really any suspense with it. Like
no.
it's like he's there and then he kills and then he disappears. Like there's nothing really. There's no. It's like suspense free. It's you know what I mean.
It's weird that way. Yeah. It's like the
And another thing I read about this is directed by the guy. The only thing else he did was he shot all of Skid Row's music videos.
well, Skid Row had some good music videos, honestly. But
But yeah, it's from that guy. But that's why I wonder if like there's no suspense and all that. And
It could be. I mean, well, it's the sort of thing. I mean, suspense isn't easy to do. You
yeah,
know, I mean, a perfect example is when you look at like Uwe Ball. You know,
yeah,
whenever he tries to do suspense, it just comes off as like funny.
yeah. I no longer talk shit about Weeble though.
I thought
Rampage is a good movie, man.
I've heard that, and I've heard
It's really solid.
he did like a war movie as well, and I've heard people really like that.
Yeah. See, I have a soft spot for what the hell was it?
House of the
Was it
Dead.
House of the Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like House of the Dead just because it's cheesy as all hell. I like the Sega banners.
Yeah.
Like, you remember it has this, like, festival, there's these giant Sega banners. I think it's cool. And I remember this one shot specifically where it's, like, the Matrix bullet time,
Yeah, I
where she,
remember
like,
that.
jumps in the air and she freezes and then shoots all these zombies.
Yeah.
I didn't like part two, though. But there's another movie people shit on that I actually enjoyed
hmm
for a cheesy factor, that Alone in the Dark.
Oh, yeah. Alone in the Dark.
Didn't that have Frost from Blade in it, if I remember
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah, yes. Stephen Dorff.
Steven Dorff, yeah.
Yeah, I think he had him. It had what's his name?
Was Slater in that or
Yeah,
no?
Christian Slater,
Yeah.
and oh, what's her name? Who's in Sharknado with the dead eyes?
Oh, Tara Reid.
Yeah, honestly, like whenever I see her in a movie, she always looks like I don't know, she's like stoned or something.
Yeah, she's dumb as hell.
Yeah.
She's a junkie. She was hooked on tons of drugs and she was a alcoholic. I remember there was, no, it's truth. I remember there being a show on MTV
hmm
like way back. I don't know why I was watching it, but
hmm
it was basically her traveling around going to all these bars just partying, and then she had all these botched up plastic surgery, and she's a mess. Did you see that interview with her where she was on TV interviewing with something and they're talking to her and you could tell she's just blasted out of her mind.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, I always liked that.
That was always kind of fun, but it was one of those ones I wish it had been better.
It had no business being in the theaters. I
No.
remember seeing commercials for it being in theaters and it bombed. That should have been straight to video.
Yeah. I think the thing with Uwe Ball, what it is he's a fan of horror films.
Yeah.
He likes the idea of doing horror films, but he's not a horror director.
Yeah.
He can direct action really good. He can direct comedy good. He can direct, like apparently that war movie he did. I can't remember what it was, but people
yeah.
said that was really good. But he just
Yeah, I
can't
never
do
saw
horror.
his Blood Rain movies.
No, yeah, I haven't heard good
What's weird
things.
is he gets a lot of famous people in his movies.
I think what it is, he
Like
had,
Postal. I know that movie bombed.
yeah, I think he got a lot of money from wherever he was filming. They had some like kind of like a tax haven type thing, like we used to
Yeah.
have up here. So he could get like a good amount of money to get a big name actor or whatever. The problem was, if you get a big name actor and then you don't utilize them properly,
Yeah.
it's like, what's the point? I mean, get a lesser known actor, put more money into your, like, maybe your effects budget or whatever, and make it like a feast for the eyes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So did you want to
for
get
sure.
into this Ghosts of Mars?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Alright, man. Yeah, I just checked this out last night again. I hadn't seen this. I didn't see it in theaters. I think I saw this when the VHS. I remember seeing it on VHS.
Mm,
And this movie, I definitely think is a time capsule of the early 2000s.
oh, for sure.
There's something real Matrix feeling about it, and it's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it feels like 2000. You know what I mean?
it does.
And we'll get into a general plot. This is one of Carpenter's later movies, and
Yeah.
essentially Natasha, whatever her name is, who from
Hemstridge.
Species and all that, yeah.
Yeah.
She basically comes back on this like train on Mars, handcuffed, and she's the only one in the train, and it's like a ghost train, and she's like in some kind of trial, and they want to figure out what the hell's going on, like why she survived, blah blah blah, and then the movie starts during flashback, and
Yeah.
What are they? Is it even established what they're there for? Like,
Um,
what are they doing? Like, are they just miners?
they're I think I get the idea they're like trying to like terraform the planet or something.
Yeah, I know
Like,
that. Because
yeah,
it's like 85% terraformed already.
yeah,
Which I had to look up what the hell that even meant.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, I
think it's
guess.
that. Like, yeah, they were mining to get out, like, to build places or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyways, so they end up arriving at their spot where they do this, and it's a ghost town. Like, there's no one there. People that are there are just dead. And they see all
yeah,
these, like, these gnarly looking booby traps everywhere that look badass.
yeah. But don't actually do anything.
Yeah. And, yeah, that's where they're pretty much trying to discover what the hell's going on. And there was, like, some portal opened, and all these spirits of these Martians are possessing all these miners.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. Well, there's Ice Cube. He's like I forget the name they call him. It's something cheesy
Desolation
though.
Williams.
Yeah, yeah. He's in the
Yeah.
prison, and yeah, there's a whole nother sideline plot of this like group of dudes that are trying to free him and all that. And
We have to just touch on the fact that, they went to all this trouble to free him and then they end up getting locked up.
yeah, that was
That was
funny.
hilarious. I remember
And then
seeing
Ice
that.
Cube like slaps the dude like it's like a Three Stooges,
Yeah.
short or something. It's like, Dad, I thought you were watching the door, dog. Slaps him. It's like one. I gotta say, that's one of the things I thought was cringy about this movie was Ice Cube in that performance.
I
Like
know,
I'm so
yeah,
used to Ice Cube from NWA,
yeah,
his solo albums, then Boys in the Hood, and even in Anaconda,
yeah,
he still has that gangster edge to him. He still looks like how he did.
yeah,
And yeah, you know what I mean. He's listening to his own music on the boat, and
yeah.
it's not too far fetched. There's something about him in this movie that is just cringy to
Well,
me. I
he
think it's
just,
these orange pants and
well,
this like
yeah.
armless tank top. Like,
He seems really out of place,
yeah.
you know?
Same with that Triple X movie he was in. Like, this was around the same time,
Yeah,
and they just don't work. Like, I don't know what it was,
I
but
don't know.
it was a poor casting choice to put him in there.
I think maybe it's just a fact of he seems to be better in, like, serious roles.
Yeah.
You put him in, like, a fun, schlocky type, like, action type thing, and I don't know, it's just not as good.
Yeah. Now I think that Natasha or whatever, I think she was good in it.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she has that she's kind of like royalty in the modern sci-fi.
Yeah.
Species is one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time.
Definitely.
And I like Species 2 even more, but
Speaking of Species 2, I just got to say, I think last year I watched the Blu-ray of it.
yeah, I still need to get it.
I tell you what, that movie has aged really well.
Yeah, I remember I love that movie.
It looks really good on Blu-ray. Even the dated effects and everything, it it still holds up. I
Yeah,
was
one of these
really
days,
surprised.
yeah, I think next month probably I'm gonna order all the Species that Scream Factory released.
It's worth it.
The thing is, though, they never go down in price. Species 1 has stayed at like $20.
Yeah.
Species 2 has stayed at $20, and then the 2-pack of 3 and 4, they never go down at price. They've been in my cart for like 2 years.
Well, maybe that's saying something.
Yeah.
You
It's just
know?
hard to like justify
I know.
paying 60, $70 for that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Yeah.
they are good movies, so,
Yeah.
I'm getting in the thing where I usually when I order movies, I think about like quantity over quality. Like I always I'll put stuff in my cart.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And it'll like be like 5 or 6 movies, but it'll be like $250.
Yeah.
And I always back out. I'm always like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I end up always having a giant to watch pile that I never get to. So I always have that back and forth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a weird thing with me. Like, there are movies I really want, like the Species movies.
Yeah.
It's just thinking about how other movies you could get for that 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, though, I always just add them to these never-ending piles. You know what I mean? So realistically, it's like, I'm getting more movies,
Yeah.
but I just never get to them.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do that more to where, like, for Species, for example, like, I want to see them,
Mm.
so I just need to buy them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, I guess that's something also we should cover about like Ghosts of Mars, the sheer price point of this
Yeah,
of
that's
the
I'm
Blu-ray.
when I took this out of my Blu-ray player, I was
Yeah,
so happy that I did not pay $30 for this.
yeah,
Like, it's a good movie. I'm glad I have it, but
yeah,
this Mill Creek version is perfectly fine. I got it for $7.99.
yeah, yeah,
And it even has the commentary and everything. It's not bare bones.
yeah. I
If I
mean,
would have paid
honestly,
30 for this, I would have been pissed.
I know what you mean. I mean, the Indicator release is
They
like
have
30,
nice
and it's
cases.
oh yeah, very nice cases. But I I don't want to use this term because I don't think that it applies to this movie. But you can't polish a turd.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, it doesn't really apply to this movie, but this movie is like a $10 at the most
Well, it's a
release.
budget title. Yeah, this is one of those movies where if you go to like FYE, the
Yeah,
DVD is used for $2.99. You know what I
yeah,
mean? This is
you know.
not. This is a movie you see at the pawn shop every time you go.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know, it's
you
just
know.
it's one of those movies. That's where I've always seen it. It's just cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's
Where
the
some
sort of
like
thing.
vampires, I never see vampires anywhere. I never see the DVD or anything.
No,
But
no.
Ghosts of Mars, I see it everywhere.
Well, I think Ghosts of Mars was actually wasn't it like one of like the first generation of DVDs?
Maybe, I don't know. I actually watched it with the commentary, and they were talking
Yeah,
about how they're doing it for this DVD and all that.
yeah. I I found that kind of funny. You know,
Yeah, did you listen to the commentary?
yeah.
Yeah,
I just love the fact that they they don't really talk about the movie.
not really at all. They're basically like just jabbing at each other.
Exactly, and
Like
that's what
John
just
Carpenter
makes
just
it so
talking about
fun.
how she's difficult to work with, and then they laugh, and she's like, "No, I wasn't that difficult," and they say that like 10 times in it.
Yeah,
Like it
I
seems
have
like
to
I,
admit, I love that part though, where he's like, "Well, you should make a movie," and she's like, "Yeah, then I can cast you and and show you what I've been going through."
yeah. John Carpenter's a little pervy in that commentary too.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, then again, I mean, it's Natasha Henstridge. Can you
yeah.
really
There's
blame
what there
him?
was like, yeah. There's one where he's like, "Oh, I was trying to find a bad angle of you, and I couldn't find it," and
Yeah.
all that. Then
He
there's
kept
one where
like,
he's talking about where she's like, "Oh, my breasts are so big because I'm pregnant," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a little intimidated by him." There's just so, but yeah, they didn't talk about really the movie at all. It was
no.
like, and I noticed too, he's like narrating it at some parts, like, "Oh yeah, this is where we find out
Yeah.
everyone's dead. We're looking at the log now." You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know. It wasn't one of my
It
favorite
wasn't William
commentaries.
Friedkin bad, but it was close.
Yeah.
You know, William
Did
Friedkin
you?
just talks over his movies in his
Yeah.
commentaries. He just tells you what's happening.
Did you know too? John Carpenter wrote this as a Snake Plissken film. This was originally supposed to be called Escape from Mars,
I
but
can,
Escape from LA did so bad
yeah.
that the studio didn't want to do another Snake Plissken film. But this was wrote to be as a sequel to Escape from LA.
You know what? I can see that. 100% I can see that.
Yeah, that's
And
what Ice Cube
honestly,
was supposed to be.
maybe it would have worked a bit better
Yeah, I think so. To
had
have
it
some
been,
name recognition. The
Yeah,
thing with this movie, I feel like it shouldn't have been released to theaters. The same way I feel about Alone in the Dark. Like
yeah,
this movie feels direct to video to me.
yeah.
Like
I
it's
mean,
almost like a like it feels like a one location movie. Like every time you go outside, it's the same color. Obviously, it's Mars.
yeah.
And dude, these Martians, dude, look shitty. Like the main one that's on the cover is cool. You know, the
I
main
know.
dude. But
Yeah.
the other Martians, they look like Mad Max ripoffs. Like,
Well, I think that's essentially what they are, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, I mean, there was one scene where the one dude's like, or the chick's putting these little, I don't know, they're like little, they look like tattoo needles or something in her face and all that.
yeah,
Like that's cool. But yeah, for the most part, besides that main leader, it took me out of it how shitty these Martians looked.
yeah. I mean, I think they could have. I think it probably it was a budgetary thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of like give them like generic
Yeah, I
appliances
think
and
it was all
everything.
money. That's what I said. This movie feels like it just shouldn't have been to theaters. Like like I said, this is a really disappointing John Carpenter flick.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a look right now and see what other movies were released in 2001 when this came out, and see
It
what it
was a
was up
bad
against.
time. Collateral
Well,
Damage I just watched from that year and it was shitty.
yeah. Uh,
It was because of 9/11, I think, ruined a lot of that kind of stuff.
yeah,
I
I'm
know a
quite
lot of
sure.
companies didn't want to go too violent with stuff. Like, I know it did change a lot of the movies that year.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's like now is like we consider kind of classics, but for the time,
I
I
think
mean,
horror wasn't a good time in 2001.
I don't think so. I mean, there was Bangkok Haunted, there was Bones.
See,
Uh,
these are all B movies that are in theaters.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Bones is cool. I like Bones.
yeah,
That's
but
not, to me, that's not a theater like movie.
uh,
Like, these all feel like B movies.
yeah, Dagon.
That wasn't theaters, though.
No, Ghosts of Mars. Itchy the Killer, Jason
See,
X.
Dagon should have been in
Yeah,
theaters.
it should.
You know what I mean? Like, if Ghosts of Mars and Bones could get in
Yeah,
theaters, Dagon should have definitely been in theaters.
yeah. Jeepers Creepers was that year as
Yeah,
well.
that's a classic.
A lot of sequels.
Yeah.
So you got like Scary Movie 2,
I wonder if that's a reason why
13
this movie
Ghosts.
didn't do so good. Yeah, this feels real 13 Ghosts like too.
It
But
does.
um but this movie, it almost I forget what I was saying. Yeah, Jason X. I wonder if that's why this didn't do so good because you had two space horror movies like that so close.
It could be. Then again, of course, with everything that happened with Jason X, right? Like how long it took for them to finally get it out and everything.
Yeah, I think another thing that goes against this movie is the fact that John Carpenter's name is on it and people expect a horror movie.
Yeah.
This isn't scary even in the slightest. Like, I don't even think a little kid would find this scary.
No. I mean, the thing is, Ghosts of
It's
Mars, let's
essentially
be
an
honest.
action movie.
Yeah, it's an action sci-fi movie more so
This is
than
like Doom or something.
yeah, it's more so than a proper like horror movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you go in expecting it.
Yeah.
You know,
I will say there is some cool gore that I like in it. Like, I
yeah,
think that whole thing with the heads on the posts,
that was a
I
good
think
scene.
look really sick, and I love that chick. I don't know her name, but she was in a lot of stuff back then. She gets her head completely chopped off with that sword or whatever.
Um, do you mean the redhead chick?
I don't know. It's like shorter hair, kind of like neck
Yeah.
length.
Oh, yeah. What's her
It's
name?
blonde. She was like
Oh,
in Zodiac as one of the victims and stuff. She was in a lot of stuff back then.
yeah. I know who you mean. I'm just trying to remember her name.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I liked her death. She gets her head chopped off.
yeah. Claire Duval.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there was something kind of weird about that scene where that dude's trying to cut that can and he ends up like chopping his thumb and stuff off.
Yeah, I have to admit though, I loved like Ice Cube's reaction.
I forget
The guy chops off his thumb. He holds up the can. His thumb's spurting. He's
doesn't
just
he
like,
laugh or something?
he just laughs at him. He's like, "You dumbass." Oh man.
I'd look at him though. I'd be like, "Look at your outfit, bro. Look who's
Yeah.
talking."
Oh man.
Yeah, like, dude, there's something about whoever chose to do the outfits in this movie should have been fired, dude. Like, when they come walking out of that room, or
Mm,
with when Pam Greer's still alive and all that, they
yeah.
look like a knockoff version of the Matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I just read something interesting here. Um, in his autobiography, John Carpenter was talking about this movie, and he said he intentionally was trying to make it over the top and tongue in cheek. Says The universe allows its characters and plot points to be silly without becoming full-fledged comedies, akin to the 80s movies like Commando, Rambo First Blood Part 2, and Predator.
He has a lot of balls comparing this to those movies.
He does, but, I kind of get it as well. The fact that it wasn't meant to be serious.
Yeah, I think one thing I know that bothers me about too is the movie is just bland looking.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, the Blu-ray looks really good. It gets the two colors that are in the movie good. But
yeah,
that's the problem to me. There's literally two colors.
yeah, that's
Red,
true.
black, and gray. Three.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? There's no other colors. It's
yeah,
like you go outside, it's all red, and you go inside, it's the most bland, like how futuristic this is supposed to be.
yeah, and
Those are the
it is very
blandest looking
bland.
rooms I've ever seen. And they even touch on that in the commentary, remember? They're
Yeah,
like, oh, this the set design, he went real simplistic. It's like, yeah, he went real simplistic.
yeah,
Like,
oh,
this
yeah,
looks
yeah,
like the back halls of a YMCA or something.
yeah, it kind of does. Here, just another thing it says here about what he was saying about this movie. It says he was frustrated that most people thought the film was meant to be a serious horror movie and feels that he should have made the film to be like more openly comedic and in on the joke.
Yeah, see, the problem is he spent his whole career doing that horror image.
Yeah,
He wanted that, John Carpenter presents. Remember, he wanted that on every film he
yeah,
made. And it kind of
yeah,
bit him. It bit him in the ass when it came to this movie. You know what I mean? When
yeah,
you when you demand that kind of stuff, and then when you get a certain image, and then you deviate from that, people are going to be disappointed. So, him demanding that his name mean what it means and be prominent, I think bit him in the ass on this movie.
yeah, yeah, it did.
What
Um,
what was what movie came out before this by him, and what came after?
Vampires came out before this,
Okay, which is a better
and
film in my opinion.
yeah, and then after it, he didn't actually direct anything until he did The Ward in
Ugh, that movie is a
2010.
turd. I remember I rented that movie, and I was like, I was pissed at how shitty that movie was. It was just
That
boring as all hell.
the problem I found with that movie was from the letter A, like right from when it started, I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, I honestly
You
don't
know,
remember anything about it.
it was just so generic, and had he made that maybe back in the 70s or the early 80s, it probably would have been a big success or whatever. But by now, by the time I saw it, I called it within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I'd figured out the ending already, and I was like, and then I just sort of fast forwarded through it. It's a shame,
yeah,
you know. I'd like
yeah,
he needs to make some more stuff, honestly.
yeah, redeem himself kind of.
Yeah,
With this, back to this Ghost of Mars though,
yeah.
I feel like this movie would click more for me if it didn't have
Mm.
Ice Cube, and if it didn't have Jason Statham.
I know. I see
Like
what
I
you
like
mean.
Jason Statham, but there's just something about him in this I don't like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And there need, to me, if he was really wanting that playful vibe, he should have just made this a straight up gore fest. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like if your sets are gonna look this bland, and you know what I mean? Like take the
yeah,
money you spent on the special effect of, for example, remember that girl flying in on the balloon and all that?
yeah. Which was
Just
horrible.
yeah. A the special effect made no sense or like looked shitty, but B it's like you didn't really need to show that. You could have just said what happened and
Yeah,
took that money and added three more intense gore scenes. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like that's what my opinion, he should have done is just made this a balls to the wall, just gore fest. Especially if your Martians look shitty,
yeah,
at least have them just slaughtering people. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I kind of dug the idea with it. The people that didn't get like turned into Martians or whatever, that they were just slaughtering them. But
Yeah,
they should have definitely gone more in on that.
yeah.
I'm just looking at his filmography right now, and he actually doesn't have that big of a filmography.
No,
One, two,
he's just
three,
regarded much
four,
because his
five,
movies he
six,
did
seven,
direct in
eight,
the
nine.
'80s are classics.
Yeah. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. He's done 21 movies.
My honest opinion, I think, like, I like Halloween. I love it, obviously. But if I'm,
Mm,
like, putting that to the side,
yeah.
I think Christine may be my favorite movie he's done. Like,
Christine's
I
a...
liked it better than The Fog. I liked it better than
You liked it better than The
Prince
Thing?
of Darkness. Yeah. I
It's a
like The
re-
Thing, but I like Christine better.
Yeah, it's a really solid movie. My favorite of John Carpenter's has always been Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
Just because I have memories of seeing that the first time I saw it, and
Yeah. I mean, it's a good movie.
I always remember seeing it because I went and I rented it, and I was watching it, and I was eating Doritos. And I always remember because it got to that scene at the end. You remember where the girl's all like mangled looking,
Yeah.
and her face looked just like the Doritos. And as a result, I couldn't eat Doritos for about 10 years.
Damn.
Yeah, it totally put me off them. It was really weird.
Did you know who Alice Cooper was at the time when you saw it?
At the time, I knew who he was because I was like, damn, that's Alice Cooper.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie takes a while to get going.
Yeah,
That's probably my only gripe with that is it just
yeah,
takes too long to get going. I still like it.
yeah,
But to me, Christine is just the most entertaining film he had besides Halloween.
yeah. Well, Christine is one of those few movies it's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, even characters that are like kind of like annoying and cheesy or whatever, they don't come off as like how can I put it like they got like a bad actor and he played it cheesy.
Yeah.
It comes off like this is what this character would be.
Yeah, and if you ever upgrade to 4K, definitely make that one of your first 4K purchases.
Yeah,
Because
you've
that
said
movie looks
it's really
beautiful.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you give your final rating of Ghosts of Mars?
For a final rating, I give it 7 out of 10. I
Hmm.
mean, I s- any John Carpenter movie is better than a non-John Carpenter movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But essentially, I kind of what the problem with this movie is this movie was like Big Trouble in Little China, but people thought it was going to be The Fog.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think he should have gone more in with the gore. He should have gone more in with like the
The humor.
comedic elements. Made it made
He
it
should have just made it
obvious.
as over the top as possible.
Yeah, essentially, maybe then again, maybe this is the same sort of situation as like with Clive Barker and Nightbreed, where the people who are like doing the trailers and everything just are completely screwing everyone up and making people think it's something it's not.
Yeah, and studio involvement and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the ads for this. I when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be like a horror.
Yeah, when the cover even kind of looks like it. I mean, the creature, or
Yeah,
the main dude that they use is freaky looking.
yeah,
Like, he looks like a demonic, like Marilyn Manson, but,
yeah,
you know what I mean? He looks cool, and he has, the piercings on the fingers and all that, but
yeah,
they just didn't put any effort into his, like, minions.
yeah. I mean, they could have done more, but like I said, we're looking at it, as a horror film.
Yeah,
You look at it like as like a fun action comedy type
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
It's
give this film, like, a solid 6.
yeah,
Above average, but it's not something that I'm,
yeah.
you know.
Well, let's just say this. I would watch this any day before I watched Escape from LA.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get
The
me wrong, I
only,
liked
no,
Escape from LA, but
I would rather watch Escape from LA only because of Bruce Campbell's performance.
yeah,
That plastic surgeon dude or whatever.
yeah.
That's
And
the only thing that would have going for me over this film.
yeah.
And Kurt Russell, I mean,
Yeah, well, you can put Kurt
Kurt
Russell
Russell
in
is
like
more
any.
entertaining than any of these actors in this movie.
Yeah. That would have been interesting though, had Kurt Russell been in it. I just love
Yeah,
the
if they
fact
just
that
made it
they
the third
even
one.
they even kind of mention in a way like um Natasha Henstridge was saying she was talking to Kurt Russell at one point about like something or whatever, and he was comparing them as actors and everything. Then when you realize that it was supposed to be the third escape
Yeah.
from, and you're kind of like, well,
Yeah, it would have been cool if this what they did make that and this was like the end of a trilogy. Because that
yeah,
would mean John Carpenter would have 3 trilogies.
yeah, yeah,
The Apocalypse trilogy and this trilogy.
yeah,
Just a shame the studios, they just don't know what they're talking about.
yeah. And I
If
mean,
one thing goes bad and they give up on it completely and they don't realize maybe it was... I don't know what the deal is with Escape from LA, but, you know.
I think the problem with Escape from LA was it was where Escape from New York was like serious.
Yeah.
Escape from LA was just like kind of fun and goofy.
Yeah.
A lot,
And
a
it
lot of
took
the
a
times.
while for it to come out and everything. Same
Yeah,
with that.
it
Same
took
with
way
American
too
Werewolf
long.
in Paris and stuff. Same
Yeah,
problems.
that's it. Sometimes you got to strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah. And then
You
when
know.
you don't even have the same... Well, Escape from Paris or LA had the same people, but there's a lot of the times like American Werewolf in Paris where it was just a retarded idea to even do it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like Escape from LA was 15 years after Escape from New York.
Yeah, that's too
Yeah,
long for
it
that.
should have been, like 1987 at the latest is when they should have been doing Escape from LA.
Yeah, because you have a totally different audience that would go see that.
Yeah,
And probably, and back then, you know what I mean, they probably didn't even know this Escape from New York and all that. You probably had a lot of people there just like, what the hell is this?
yeah, I'm quite sure.
Anyways,
Yeah, but still, it's better than a lot of the stuff that they put out nowadays.
yeah. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed our little review of Ghosts of Mars, and we reviewed some other stuff and all that. But
Yep,
we're gonna end it here, and then tomorrow we'll be recording a commentary for Lake Placid.
yep,
So you will kind of get 2 things in one week, and if you end up seeing Crawl Friday or Saturday,
yeah,
we're definitely going to do a deep dive on that movie.
yeah,
So there'll actually be 3 things from our podcast on YouTube this week.
yeah. It'll be quite
And
a...
if that Calvin thing comes through, whatever day he comes through, we'll should have our first guest on an episode. So there are
Yep,
some big things coming. And like I said, next month I want to dedicate like at least a week to vampire stuff. So look
yeah,
forward to some specials and some commentaries on vampire flicks. Um,
yep,
and I'm calling it right now. I think either in September or probably September,
mm,
because October I wanted to focus on Halloween franchises and stuff. But
yeah,
in September I want to focus even on my personal YouTube channel.
mm,
I want to focus on straight up Asian horror.
yes,
So like on my channel, I'm going to review all my Asian movies that I have to watch, but pretty much if you're cool with it, every commentary and podcast we do during September,
yeah.
I want to keep it Asian related. Like
I'm
maybe do the Three Extremes 1 and 2, maybe the Ju-ons,
yeah,
you know,
I'm totally
some
down
of
for
these
that.
Tartan releases.
Yeah, I mean,
We definitely
Asian
got to do The
horror is
Wailing. That's a classic
oh
movie.
yeah,
And I've been wanting to rewatch it recently. Maybe do I Saw the Devil.
yeah. Oh, did you see that? We'll mention this for people listening. If you haven't seen The Wailing, at Walmart, it's part of a 4-pack Blu-ray now for $25.
Yeah, it's worth that alone.
It is, and the other movies are actually pretty good, which are in there as well. There's um, I think it's one of the Ip Man movies. There's The Wailing. There's 4, obviously. I know that. I'm just gonna take a look and see what it is, but
Yeah, I think I did see it.
yeah,
In, Walmart.
there's some good stuff, and for like $24. Um,
The Wailing is a 10 out of 10 movie. I put that in the same regard as like Hereditary. Like there's a list of modern classics that I think...
yeah,
Well, I don't think The Wailing will be remembered years down the road because I don't think enough people saw it.
yeah,
But
we gotta,
it is on the same list as Hereditary as far as modern classics go. I just don't think a lot of people know about The Wailing. I think maybe the cover throws people off but it is a creepy movie.
very
And
creepy.
it's long, but it's a amazing movie. probably the best Exorcist movie since The Exorcist.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's just all around awesome.
Yeah, there's some really sinister moments. That ending scene, dude.
Oh
We'll get
yeah,
to it when we go, but that has one of the best endings I've ever seen in my life, dude. Like
yeah.
just that laugh he has. You know what I'm getting
Oh
at,
yeah, yeah,
It almost looks like the cover of The Killing Joke. That Batman.
yeah, yeah. It
He has
does.
like that same pose and everything. It's just you realize what those pictures were.
Yeah,
Oh my god, dude! That ending sent chills down my spine, man.
yeah. I'm still trying to find this. What else is in this pack? Because I mean, honestly, like I said, for 25 for 25 bucks, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm sure you could find a single version of it for $10 on Amazon. I'm sure.
Oh, here we go. Oh no, that's not it. Yeah, bastards.
But yeah, if you want to get the original version, I think it's probably like $8 or $9 on Amazon.
Yeah, I mean,
Worst case scenario.
yeah, it's definitely worth owning.
It may still be on Netflix too, because that movie was available on Netflix. It may still be on there.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I actually saw it on Netflix originally.
Yeah, I bought it on from Best Buy when it first came out.
Yeah,
I want to see his other movies, Chaser and like Yellow Sea or something.
yeah. I haven't heard of any like American releases of them. Have you?
Yeah, they got them.
Do they?
I have them in my cart on Amazon. I haven't pulled the trigger on them. I mean, they're cheap. It's just when I get to them, I'll get to them. I'm not in a rush to see them.
Yeah, and I mean, they'll probably drop in price, won't they?
Yeah, well, they're already like $8.
Oh yeah.
Chaser has the same dude in it who played Satan or
Oh,
whatever
that's
in
cool.
The Wailing. I don't think it's horror though.
That's kind of a shame because he
I think it's
does.
like action, but it still looks good.
Yeah, he does horror quite well.
Yeah. And before we go, I want to point out too, there's this deal that I saw that almost pisses me off. You know that Code Red release of The Hills Have Eyes 3 Mind Tripper?
Yep.
I bought that for I think $25 because I really wanted to see it.
Hmm.
And I still haven't even seen it yet. It's still in the plastic in my
Yeah.
to watch pile, right?
Yeah.
If you go on grindhouse.com,
Hmm.
it's $10. And then if you go to Ronin Flicks that sells all the Code Reds,
Yeah.
they have it for $10 too.
Oh
Like I guess it
man.
sold like shit, so they dropped it to $10. So I basically overpaid by $15 for that disc.
Damn.
So just heads up out there, that's a killer deal for a Code Red Blu-ray. Like Code Red Blu-rays you never find for under $25. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely jump on that.
Yeah. And like Shredder, like I just got that from Code Red. And
Yeah.
that was $25.99. And there's a bunch of like Hide and Go Shriek was $25. Even if you go on the site, that's still what they are. And they even have there's a few I want to see that I hear are shitty, so I've been hesitant. Like there's one called Twisted Nightmare.
Yeah.
That looks real. The cover looks cool, but it I hear it's shitty, and they want like $26.99. And there's one called Scream, and the
Okay.
cover is like this hand holding like a scythe, and
I
it looks
remember
pretty.
seeing that when I was like a kid. I used to see that in video stores.
Yeah, I hear it's terrible, but they want like $26 for it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but I had to buy Shredder, even though it was $26. That's one of the most underrated slashers of modern times.
Yeah.
And like I said, it would go perfect with the chill factor. And there's one release I gotta pick up. I've never seen the movie, but everyone raves about it, and I gotta pick it up. That what the hell? Just Before Dawn,
Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't
because
seen
they
it,
just
but
released a new scan of it and all that, and
yeah,
I'm hearing a bunch of people talk about it, and so many people that I respect their opinion are like, this is one of the best slashers of all time.
yeah. I mean,
Like I've
definitely.
never heard a bad thing about that movie.
That's saying something right there.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna pick that up.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it. This should be when you're hearing. Well, obviously when you're hearing this, it'll be on YouTube. But
Yeah.
if you're hearing this the day it comes out, expect the Lake Placid commentary to be the very next day.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, peace.
Peace.